Its deputy party leader, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, alleged that there was lethargy among security officers manning the rallies. Dr. Matiang'i has rallied the opposition to unite in the pushback against gunnism and any acts of hooliganism.
We can't lose lives day in, day out on simple matters. I mean, I've often asked the question, if you come from Kiambu, for example, or you come from Muranga, and the UDA leaders came there to have a public rally, why should you interfere with them? They're not carrying away the residents of Muranga, they are leaving them behind. You can also come back and talk to them. So if Linda Mwananchi was going to Homa Bay to have a rally, they were not carrying away the residents of Homa Bay.
And a group of activists in Lamu County are calling on the government to ensure that residents likely to be affected by the proposed oil refinery project are adequately informed on compensation mechanisms once the project kicks off later this year. The activists allege that the sections, that is, of residents affected by previous development projects in the county are yet to receive compensation after the projects were completed. They have petitioned the government and the investors to ensure that the local community is fully involved in the implementation of the project so that they benefit from it.
Katika mradi wowote lazima kuweko na a clear framework ya compensation including the timelines and the amount ambao wao wataweza kupatiwa kutokamana na huo mradi.
Hatutaki miradi ambayo italetwa katika gatuzi letu iwe ni kuwaumiza wananchi wadhulumiwe kwa kupokonywa ardhi zao, watu wapate madhara ya afya kwa sababu ya miradi ambayo itakuja.
Tupewe time, tufundishwe, tupate masomo, tujue faida zetu ni gani, the benefit zetu tutapata hapo ndani ni gani. Paka sasa hii mashinani watu hawajajua zile faida tutazipata na pesa itakuja mingi kwa ajili ya jamii yetu.
Women Enterprise Fund leaders have called for increased funding from the government to enable the agency support more women groups amid growing demand for financial assistance. Led by Women Enterprise Fund Chief Executive Officer Rachel Musyoki, the leaders said more women groups are seeking financial support to expand their businesses.
Pesa hizi tunazopewa Women Enterprise Fund sio nyingi. Ni ombi langu nikiwa nina support the president agenda of women empowerment, nipewe pesa zinazostahili ili niweze kufikia kina mama wengi mashinani. Tumesikia hapa mama akisema wanataka 2 million. Vile vile nimetoka Kiambu juzi, nimetoka Olkalau juzi, na kina mama ombi lao ni hilo.
Hapo mbeleni tulikuwa tunapeana up to 1 million. Ikafika mahali ikakuwa wamama wana apply ni wengi sana kupita ile pesa ambayo tuko nayo. Na tukasema hatutaki kuwa tunawapea wengine 1 million alafu kuna wengi hawapati. Tukapunguza kidogo to 750 ndio tuweze kupea wamama wengi.
Over now to KBC County, where the national and county governments have been urged to increase funding to community-based organizations supporting girl child initiatives. The call was made during a 2-day annual camp meeting at Mochengo in Moticho Ward, that is in KBC County, where more than 180 girls were trained on life skills, menstrual health, their rights and protection from harmful cultural practices. The girls were taken through different sessions designed to equip them with knowledge and skills to help them navigate challenges at home, in school, and within their communities. The director of the Grace Community Center, Robert Gutwa, says more support for grassroots organizations could help address challenges that continue to keep vulnerable girls out of school and expose them to early marriage and teenage pregnancy.
wengine hatuonekani, lakini yale ambayo tumefanya katika kijiji ni mengi. Lakini tunasema viongozi hao ambao ni walimu wako hapa, kama ni mwalimu na anafanya hii kikundi, si amerudishia community kitu kidogo. Kwa hivyo tunaomba hayo kabisa isaidiwe na serikali pia ione. Tunajua rais yako na mradi wake na wabunge, kujeni saidia vikundi ya chini.
We have been having around 180 girls in our gathering for the 2 days since yesterday, and we expect that in the near future or next year, especially we handle this in every year, we'll have more girls that are going to be sponsored and maybe be given this more information about where is stigma lives, so that they can be able to spread this to other young girls, so that they can be able to be confident and not fear all this stigma.
Well, right about now, I'll be joining my colleague, or let's join my colleague, that is Kamcha Menza. She's at the iconic center where she's attending a meeting on women empowerment, women in politics, that is. Kamcha Menza, if you can hear me, kindly bring us up to speed with what is happening in as far as that event is concerned.
Well, Marie, good afternoon to you back in studio. And like you said, this is an event that has been organized by the Kenya Women Parliamentary Association, commonly referred to as KWOPA. And right where I'm standing is just outside the hall where that particular event is happening. Remember, we're just counting days to the general election. And of course, the women member of parliament have all along been trying to talk to the grassroots women who are political aspirants, women political aspirants who are willing or who are looking to join the political space in the next general election. So they have actually been doing talks and forums with various women leaders at the grassroots level. And of course, this afternoon or this day, they have just brought on board a number of course, women political aspirants from across the board, and they include the adult women as well as the young women. Remember, the young people have also been proactive in the political space. And of course, what is happening inside there is that there are women political leaders, the women member of parliament, who have brought on board the women political aspirants, and they're just talking to them on how the political space is generally, and of course how the campaigns are going to, how the campaigns usually are, the space for the women in the political arena. So basically it's a conversation that is to prepare the women political aspirants in the next general election. However, we cannot talk about politics without also bringing in the issue of peace, because much as we have the women leaders there, as well as the women political aspirants, they have also brought on board the peace ambassadors, who can also be able to talk to the politicians on what role they need to play, even as they do their campaigns, even as they engage with their competitors. What role do the politicians themselves play in actually ensuring that there is a peaceful and coexistence place they can be able to coexist as they do their campaigns. So right about now, allow me to bring on board a peace ambassador from the global space. This is Mary Wahogo. I hope I've gotten her name right. Kindly come on board and join me. You are part of the conversation that is happening in the room. Earlier on, we spoke to the politicians, the women politicians, as well as the aspirants. However, their issue has been the concern about the political tension that is actually being witnessed across the country. As a peace ambassador in the room, what are you telling the politicians? I'll hold for you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. As you have heard, my name is Mary Wahogo. You've said it well. I'm an ambassador of peace. And basically, whatever I've witnessed and as a peace ambassador, even if we go around talking about campaigns, talking about security, without discussing peace, we are all doing something, okay, it will not help this country. We have all witnessed what has been happening. We have a lot of political intolerance. Political parties are inciting their members. And actually, like where I come from, you understand, like people are being branded. If you talk something different from what people are talking, you are called Msaliti. And this is coming from the political leaders. So my call is to all political leaders, especially those ones who are leading political parties. Because besides the political parties, we are all Kenyans. We all have a country to protect. And when you call another Kenyan Msaliti, by the end of the day, you blood that person. The neighbor does not know that person as Msaliti. My neighbor knows me as Mary. But you as the leader, you come and tell this person, because Mary does not belong to a political party, she should not live with us because she's one of the Wasalitis. So actually that word Wasaliti should stop, because by the end of the day, I've lived with people from Western, I've lived with people from Nyanza, from Rift Valley, from all over, from Mount Kenya. And when these people are together, they are friends, they are brothers and sisters, they are Kenyans. But once we come for these political meetings, you pay people literally to beat their brothers. You pay people literally to beat their sisters. You pay people literally to cause havoc. That is not the country we want. As peace ambassadors, we are planning to go to all the 47 counties of this country to speak to people about peace. And peace begins with us. We can blame the CS for security, we can blame the president, we can blame everybody else, but it should start with us. We are the people who can campaign for peace. We are the people who can say no to whatever the politicians are telling us to say. We are the people who are going to suffer, because by the end of the day, the people who have died in the recent violence that happened in Homa Bay, they were not the politicians. They are the locals, the people who are staying there. So even when we don't have the campaigns, when we don't have politics, we still eat. So I believe you can always get a source of income from wherever you are getting it before the campaigns. So concentrate on your life, concentrate on your children. Okay, right now we have women inside this hall, we have youths. When we have violence, if we check in the records and the history of all the countries which have had violence before, including our own country, women and children suffered more. So it is our responsibility, especially I'm calling upon the women in this country, because we are the pillars. We talk to our children, we talk to our husbands, we let them know that we should not allow any politician to use us for their own gain. Thank you.
Let me cut you short a bit there. Thank you so much, Mary. Inside this particular hall, there is a conversation about improving or increasing the gender representation, that is women in elective positions. And of course, we have also had the members of parliament who are currently representing the constituencies, indicating that the space is not as conducive for the women in terms of security. From where you sit, what is your call to perhaps the security agents? Because women are saying, much as we want to increase the number of elective posts for the women, the environment also needs to be secure, or needs to be safe for the women to feel safe to go out there and campaign. From where you sit, what do you say?
Okay, what I say about the security and women participating, more women participating in politics and seeking elective positions. I'm a woman. I once vied for a political position. And one thing I'll tell women, be the other woman's support. Because if a woman supports a woman, will not experience this violence. Every woman will have their own space and they'll be able to feel free, they'll be able to vibe. Because as we are, we cannot expect like every citizen to have their own bodyguard. It's not possible. We don't have that capacity. So it's upon us to guide each other, it's upon us to protect each other, and we be our own security. I'll also call upon women that what I believe is you grab your own space. Nobody will come and give you a space. You have to grab your own space. Come out here. Let's support each other. Let's stand for each other. And that is the only way we are going to get those positions you are looking for. Yeah.
In terms of the peace that you've said you'll be going across the counties to be able to talk to people, how are you planning to do this?
Okay, right now I'm partnering with an organization, a global organization called Global Compact Initiative, and we're also partnering with the government and other. And actually, we are also partnering with the citizens, because by the end of the day, even if I have that global organization, I have the government, without the local people, it will be meaningless. So I'm recruiting members from all over the counties who are willing to walk this journey with us. And I believe if we are able to reach to every county and let every person know that it is their responsibility to maintain peace. It is their responsibility to do their campaigns like peacefully. It is their responsibility to take care of their neighbors. We will all be successful in this journey, and we are going to witness a very peaceful election come the year 2027.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, Yambo, this is one of the peace ambassadors who have joined the conversation by women political leaders who have gathered in this particular hall. They have brought together the women political aspirants from across the country to be able to prepare them on how the political space looks like. Remember, campaigns, the political space has already started to gain temperature, and also people have come out, of course, to express their desires in the political space. So basically, this is an initiative that seeks to improve or increase that number of women elective posts, perhaps in parliament or even in the county assemblies, the governors as well as the senators. Those are the posts that normally, like for instance, those are the posts that women members have been trying to push for the numbers to be able to increase in order to be able to achieve the 2/3 gender rule. So basically, that is the conversation that is happening here. And of course, we shall later on compile a comprehensive story for the viewer to inform them on what the issues the members have raised, and as well as the aspirants have raised regarding the security issue, as well as the elections for the 2027 general election. Yambo.
Thank you so much, Kamcha Menza, there talking to us, coming to us from the iconic plaza, where women political leaders have gathered there just to talk about matters politics and also encourage those who are aspiring, into political positions and how to go about them. And definitely, Kamcha Menza there will be bringing us more detailed report later on in our subsequent bulletins. But let's move on with the news, where village elders in Migori County have thanked the government for implementing a monthly stipend of 3,000 shillings, saying the move formally recognizes their role in grassroots administration and community development. Speaking in Awendo town, the elders said the stipend will support them as they carry out their duties, even as it gives them formal recognition. The elders also appealed to the president to consider increasing the stipend in future, saying a higher allocation would better facilitate their work.
William Samoei Ruto, mimi nashukuru wewe kulingana na jina ulitupea sisi. Ulisema sisi sasa ni village headman ama village administrator. Hii kidogo tunaweza kufanyia mambo mingi, lakini kwa vile tunatembea na pikipiki, hii pesa ni chache sana tukitembea hadi mwezi mmoja, na hiyo shilingi 3,000. Utuongezea hii kitu hata kidogo ili tufurahi kuliko vile tunakuwa na furahi.
Kwa niaba ya wote tupate hata pikipiki ambayo tunaweza kimbia naye kitosoni kama tunaenda kusaidia watu, na uniform tujipambe vizuri, tuonekane kama watu wa serikali.
And a section of religious leaders in Kiambu County has raised concern over what they describe as a worrying rise in political intolerance, warning that the trend could undermine Kenya's economic stability and social cohesion. The clerics, led by Reverend Joseph Kibe of Beersheba God Glory Church, at the same time expressed alarm over what they term as the growing use of organized groups of youths to instigate violence during political engagements.
Kuna maneno ya vijana ambaye saa ingine wanatumika vibaya na wanasiasa, lakini tunataka kuambia kanisa isimame imara na kanisa iseme tu ukweli, kwa sababu ukweli ndio itaokoa nchi hii.
mwananchi nataka kumuongeleshea, na sana sana wanayuthi wetu wasije wakatumike vibaya kwa ajili ya kukosesa watu wale wengine amani. Siku ya leo utakula hiyo chenye ambacho utakapopewa ndio uweze kufanya vile utakavyofanya, lakini kesho yake haujui.
A new treatment for Jigger infestation is offering hope to victims who have endured years of pain, stigma, and social isolation. Researchers at the Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology say the new topical treatment could provide a safer and less painful alternative to some existing methods. According to Professor Maurice Vincent Omolo, the new topical treatment could help change the way severe Jigger infestations are managed, particularly for patients who have struggled with painful treatment methods or infestations affecting sensitive areas. However, the researchers emphasize the importance of seeking medical assistance early.
Go through when they are under potassium permanganate or hydrogen peroxide, which are the standard protocol treatments. Of greatest concern has also been the fact that these jiggers affect certain parts of the body, particularly the gluteal region. In a single topical application and with close follow-ups of 3 treatments within a week, however heavy the infestation is, even if 90% of the body is infested by the jiggers, believe me or not, within a week, the patients have got great relief.
The family of the late former Olkalau Municipal Council Town Clerk Julius Macharia now claim that part of their property has been encroached on by contractors working on the Olkalau Stadium project despite a court order barring further interference. The family is now appealing to the Nyandarua County government to establish and clearly mark the demarcation boundary of the land adjacent to the stadium, whose construction is underway. They say they are not opposed to any developments, but want a clear demarcation to avoid any further disputes between them and the contractors working on the stadium.
Tukaenda kotini tukapata court order. Right now hawajaobe hiyo court order. Right now we are talking, sahi tunaongea sahi wameshaingia kwa saidi yetu. Sasa mimi nauliza serikali, tafadhali mkuje mtuonyeshe boundary yetu iko wapi. Kwa juu sisi tunajua mahali bacon iko.
Tunataka sasa tujue ndio wakuje waoneshane kwao ni wapi na serikali iingilie iangalie. Wasikuje wafutane. Sababu sisi wasafia tunataka serikali ikuje ndio itoe.
Well, that's where we take our first break. On the Lunchtime News, I'll be back with more.
Healthcare affects every Kenyan. But what does the future of healthcare in Kenya look like? Join us for the Kenya Health Summit and the Presidential Town Hall on Health, a national conversation bringing together leaders and citizens to take stock of the healthcare reforms made so far, examine what is working, confront the challenges that remain, and have the tough conversations needed to move healthcare in Kenya forward. Under the theme, Reforms Delivered, Health as a Right. Hear directly from His Excellency President Dr. William Ruto as key healthcare reforms take center stage in a special town hall conversation. This event will be live on KBC Channel 1 this Tuesday, 18th of August from 7:15 p.m. live from the KICC Nairobi.
All right, listen up. Quality is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
Colgate Charcoal Gentle Clean cleans and polishes teeth for a whiter smile and a naturally fresh and clean mouth. Choose natural. Choose Colgate Charcoal.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Hebu fikiria environment kama hii hapa Western Kenya. Eti mtu atatoka hapa aende Nairobi kusoma university to conquer the world. Mimi Andrew nitahakikisha hiyo ndoto imezimwa. Tazama hayo yote kwa Gundu KBC Tuesday to Thursday 7:30 p.m. Leo sio kesho.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Right about now, we want to engage Dr. Livingstone Makori. He is a political analyst, but we want to focus on issues of political hooliganism and businesses. Recently, we've been witnessing how hooliganism, especially in political rallies, has been increasing, and that forms part of our discussion this afternoon. Livingstone Makori, if you can hear me, just introduce yourself.
I can hear you, Mali. Yeah, so my name is Dr. Livingstone Makori. I'm a leadership and governance scholar. I'm also head of sales at KCB Bank Assurance Intermediary. I'm here to talk about what we are witnessing, the political violence, hooliganism, the coming El Nino, and how do we need to be prepared as people to be able to be on the safe side. Thank you very much, Mali.
Thank you so much, Livingstone. But let's just begin with, the pertinent issue right now, which is actually political hooliganism and all that. How does that affect businesses?
Political hooliganism affects businesses in a number of ways. First, let's start by saying we are in a constitutional period. Elections is a constitutional period. We have allowed our elections to be done in 5 years. But based on the nature of our Kenyan ecosystem, the way we learn our politics, then we find that political violence, terrorism, hooliganism that is coming in within that business. So this business affects business owners, even us individuals, in a number of ways. One, the health of the people who are injured during this mayhem. We have the businesses which are destroyed during mayhem. Like what we saw yesterday in Homa Bay, which have been vandalized. Those are issues now we need to discuss and see how do we, as citizens, take care of our businesses, take care of ourselves financially, so that we are safe at the end of the period.
Mm-hmm. And so talking about, businesses and all that, how should then business owners, I don't want to say this is becoming a trend. We'll be getting to that, where does the buck stop? But how should business owners then, moving forward?
So business owners have a number of things to do. One is to ensure you have strong gates, security in terms of how do you protect your asset? But more than that, you need insurance as a way of risk protection, because when you look at the nature of this hooliganism and across the country, what's happening is that wherever there is end of campaign at the beginning, business lose money. How do I protect myself? And if you come here to the insurance, we have like Linda Biashara, business protection insurance, then should there be which you control, you are able to claim back when that loss happens. So we ask our people now, it's a time to make sure you have a medical cover if you don't have one, because if you are involved in this process or probably you are affected, then you may need to go to hospital. That's a cost. If your business is destroyed, you need to go to, you need to start again. So we need capital to start up. So the most ideal way for risk protection, especially at this time, without passing blame, whether it's this party, this other political party or the government, as a person, take a responsibility of taking a business protection insurance.
Indeed, Livingstone, but it begs the question, it's not the common Mwananchi that calls for these rallies. Ordinary days, people are going through, about their businesses, without incurring any further costs. So these costs are coming as a result of leaders, whichever side of the leadership that may be. So why should I incur insurance costs? So what is the role of political leaders when it comes to, this kind of violence? What is their, how should they be held accountable?
Indeed, it's the role of each one of us to keep peace. And again, the Constitution allows us to have a multi-party democracy where each one has to be given space. If you are a political leader in a given zone, allow people to come there, speak their mind, go, so that decisions are made on the table, on the ballot. That is the ideal, that's the spirit of the Constitution. But what we are witnessing is that those who are not involved, especially business people, are finding themselves being affected. And if you say, what then would the government do? The government may not go compensating each and every person who has been affected by that. So what I'm asking, as an additional caution for business people, then you need to look at it. How will this affect me? One, if my business is destroyed today, if my vehicle is burned today, do I have that political violence and terrorism cover? Because previously we didn't have this cover. Now the insurance industry has come up with this cover to make sure that you protect yourself first. You have a strong gate, well done. We are all preaching peace, well done. We want to hold our leaders to account, well done. But as a person, you need to ask yourself, am I financially protected? And the surest way for financial protection is now to make sure that you linda your biashara. Make sure your business has a cover. So that should this thing happen, and it's not so expensive as the cost of waiting. Those disruptions as they continue, I have a loan to pay if I have a loan with the bank. As we continue on asking the government to hold people to account, I need to feed my children. So what do I need to do? I need that business protection insurance. I need to ensure I have a medical cover. I have taken that share so that when I'm sick, I'm able to go to hospital and continue with my business. So I understand, Mali, there's somebody who needs to be held responsible. Those who are giving the defamatory utterances, the political class, the government has a duty to do. But as an individual, it boils back to, what can I do in the event all those have failed, and we have seen them failing all through?
Yeah, indeed. We have to take personal responsibility, but unfortunately, some of these issues are brought about by poor leadership to some extent and all that. But again, security officers, what is their role? Because at the end of the day, they're supposed to protect your businesses and even protect your life.
This is again my ask to all of them. I don't think I have the power to ask you, but as a Kenyan citizen, I expect our police, our law enforcement officers to be firm and ensure that law is, Kenyans are protected and their properties are protected. These elections will come and go. Whoever becomes my president, whoever becomes the opposition leader, I only have one vote. As a Kenyan who has one vote, I'm asking the police, wherever you are, it's your duty to ensure that there's security. Once they have been informed that there'd be a rally, and we know how the rallies can turn ugly, we want to see action being taken, the Minister for Interior and everyone involved. But again, to the private person, who is a business person, and today I'm talking to business people, I'm talking to those who have lost money, then ensure you protect yourself, because even as the insurance recognizes, sometimes all these systems fail and your business is affected.
Indeed, Makori. So let's move to the other topic of the coming El Nino. You know, the Kenya Meteorological Department has been, warning and also announcing that we are likely to have higher than average, if I may call it, rains in the October, I think, to December, season. And again, those who are going to be affected, apart from, day-to-day activities, people going to work, are businesses. How should they, prepare themselves ahead of these heavy rains?
Thank you very much, Mali, on that. Again, El Nino is another tragedy that is coming up. Again, we have been prepared. We have been told El Nino is coming. As a business person, look at where your business is situated. Is it in the area of flooding? If you can move, move. For the government, do we need to now make sure that the drainage system is clean? That's very important for us to do. But again,
You seem to be having...
And as a business person, you will do everything you want to do, science. Sorry, Mali.
It's okay.
You can hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Again, as we take precaution, all of us need to take precaution, ensure we are all safe, ensure we are in a level up ground. But again, all systems fail sometimes. What remains for us is risk protection. And the surest way to protect yourself is to have that insurance. If you have insurance for your business, you have insurance for your car, kindly ask that insurance provider, am I covered in case of floods? If it's not covered, have it endorsed before the loss happens. Insurers have a way of accommodating that risk. So again, to ask business people, these two risks we are facing, elections which have now started, the pressure is boiling up all the way to the year 2027, El Nino is coming. We need to be more protected and ensure we have an insurance policy at place.
Okay. Thank you so much, Livingstone Makori. Livingstone Makori, they're just speaking to us about, political hooliganism and how that affects, businesses and what you should do as a business person, to protect your business. And of course, the coming rains, El Nino rains, will definitely affect day-to-day activities, but most importantly, businesses, whether you're, Mama Mboga or you have your business situated in a, can I say in a better place, or everybody will be affected. Livingstone, I want to give you just a few minutes to just wrap up in case there's anything that you need to tell our viewers in as far as El Nino and protecting your business is concerned, other than just the insurance that they can take to protect themselves.
So to the Kenyans and everyone who's watching this show today, mine is to ask all of us to keep peace and do our campaigns peacefully. To the young people, I know unemployment is a big issue. We have challenges with our unemployment. Leaders should work on policies to ensure we caution that. Just to ask all of us, remember we have a country to protect. We have businesses to protect. If we go destroying our business, then tomorrow we may not create employment. We end up digressing in our process of creating more employment. So mine is to ask all of us to keep peace and ensure we accommodate each other's views, because that's the spirit and nature of our law. On the coming El Nino, let us prepare, ensure you have warm clothing as El Nino comes in. For those who have businesses, ensure they're in an elevated place. If there's flooding in that area, make sure you watch on what the Meteorological Department is saying around the flooding and keep safe. I wish you a good lunch and thank you very much for hosting me now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Livingstone Makori, just talking to us there. Definitely, he's given you nuggets of what you should do in terms of protecting your business insurance. When it comes to El Nino, the same thing, you should be able to talk to your insurance provider just to ensure that they actually do insure against things like floods. So that is where we'll be ending that particular conversation, but the news still continues, where Energy Cabinet Secretary James Wandai is accusing unnamed individuals hailing from outside Siaya County of funding demonstrations to incite the locals to reject establishment of a nuclear power plant at Lenya area of Bondo sub-county. Wandai's remarks come after a spate of demonstrations against the proposed 500 billion shillings nuclear power plant.
Proposed nuclear plant in Siaya is expected to generate 2,000 megawatts of electricity and form part of Kenya's long-term strategy to diversify its power sources and strengthen energy security. Government preparations are already underway, with detailed site studies completed for 9 potential nuclear plant sites in Siaya County.
Hii mradi ya nuclear power plant ni mradi ya maana sana. Hii ni nuclear power production katika hii nchi ya Kenya. Na kwa bahati nzuri, serikali yake wameamua kwamba hiyo mradi iletwe hapa Siaya County.
Wandai has defended the project, saying Kenya cannot afford to hold back development as demand for electricity rises. The CS has also criticized opposition to the project, claiming that some of those mobilizing against it are funded by outsiders.
Kwa hivyo wale ambao wako wachache na wanatumiwa na wengine ambao hawapendi development ya hii eneo lazima wakemewe.
He says the nuclear project will provide a reliable source of power while creating opportunities for local communities and businesses.
Kama wananchi wa eneo hili wa kaunti ya Siaya, lazima tushukuru serikali kuu. Na lazima tuwe katika mstari wa mbele kuhifadhi hiyo mradi na kuiunga mkono ili itekelezwe haraka iwezekanavyo.
Public participation on the proposed plant began in Siaya in July, with the government saying communities will remain central to the process. Ndotamo Kami for Lunchtime News.
To matters politics now, where the political class has been urged to shun political intolerance and embrace peaceful campaigns across the country following an increase of violence and gunism at political rallies. Speaking in Tala, Machakos County, Matungu legislator Stephen Mule strongly condemned the violence witnessed on Sunday during the Linda Mwananchi rally in Homa Bay County, calling on the church to be in the forefront of unity.
Parliament Stephen Mule warned that if the trend of goons disrupting political rallies is not tamed, the country may fall into anarchy ahead of the 2027 general elections.
I want to condemn in the highest order the violence be suspected to leaders right now. It is a shame, I will call it a shame. And we want the church to come on board to make sure that we have peace in this country.
And a section of youth leaders of the Adventist Church in Kenya have added their voice to calls for peace, urging youths to shun political incitement.
I've learned how to take care of my body, not to engage in bad things and bad decisions that are going to distort the way I've been brought up since childhood.
That let our young people be calm. Let our young people exercise their democratic rights of making choices by ensuring that they don't go violent, they demonstrate their democratic right at the ballot box.
Separately, a section of Mount Kenya leaders has accused Democracy for the Citizens Party DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua of undermining leaders from the region while claiming to maintain close ties with them.
Huwezi kuwa unatutukana, unatudunisha kama watu ya Mlima Kenya Mashariki. Sisi sio twera ya kukufuata vile unataka.
Elsewhere, as the country gears up for the next polls, pastoralist communities in Isiolo County have embarked on their traditional process of identifying and nominating candidates for various political seats known as negotiated democracy.
Hawa ndio wataambia wa jamii yetu tutaelekea wapi. Hii mambo mengine watu atulize boli.
Sisi jamii ya Turkana tutakuwa pamoja na kura yetu itakuwa kwa box moja na hatutagawanyika, na hata kama kuna wale wanafikiria sisi tutagawanyika, hatutagawanyika. Sisi kama jamii ya Turkana tuko pamoja na viongozi wetu.
Michael Mundiga for Lunchtime News.
A brief look at business news, where Hungary's wine industry is facing a critical harvest threat as part of broader heatwave crisis gripping European agriculture this summer, with experts anticipating the country's grape yield to fall by about 30% this year. Here are the details of this and other stories making global business headlines across the globe.
Prolonged extreme heat and drought have pushed water levels to historic lows, threatening Hungary's grape yields. This comes as a summer of heat waves across Europe, and the UK has pulled the European Union and UK's total 2026 grain harvest down to 286.6 million tons, a drop of 23.4 million tons from last year. The losses to Europe's grain sector is estimated at around 2 billion euros. In Hungary, degraded soil moisture has left vine water stressed, and the harvest windows has shrunk, with picking now often starting as early as late August compared to mid to late October historically. Meanwhile, crude oil prices remained largely unchanged in early trade on Monday, as a sharp drop in vessel movement through the Strait of Hormuz heightened concerns over supplies, while efforts to end the US-Iran conflict showed no sign of progress. The global benchmark Brent crude oil gained 0.42% to $88.89 per barrel, while WTI crude oil rose 0.21% to $82.57 a barrel. This slowdown comes after both benchmarks surged more than 5% last week. Trading activities through the crucial oil passage of the Strait of Hormuz came to a near halt over the weekend. Ship tracking data showed that only 5 commodity vessels crossed the strait on Saturday, while no such vessels were recorded on Sunday, compared with 31 crossing during the previous weekends. Iran and the United States have remained at odds over the talks to resolve the conflict. Finally, humanoid robots developed by the Zhejiang Humanoid Robot Innovation Center are now being deployed on production lines around the world. At a facility for Turkish home appliance maker Beko, the robots have been assigned as quality inspectors capable of opening refrigerator doors and scanning and inspecting their interiors. At this year's Hannover Messe Trade Fair in Germany, this center partnered with Schneider Electric to launch a wheel-armed humanoid robot capable of operating a pipette through sampling, analysis, and cleaning with a success rate of 99.99%. This center has also fulfilled an order from a global logistics company for bin transport and sorting between racks, alongside products used in solution preparation for biopharmaceutical sector.
Now, the once arid Galana Kulalu Plains are the new frontier for commercial agriculture, with irrigation and renewable energy supporting year-round crop production. The transformation is part of a wider food security push aimed at turning thousands of acres of dry land into productive farms and reducing food imports.
Nyumba Agri-Products Limited is among investors at the Galana Kulalu Food Security Project under a public-private partnership targeting the development of about 300,000 acres for irrigation and commercial farming. Operations rely on a water infrastructure network that draws water from the Galana River and water harvesting, storing it in reservoirs and earth dams before distributing it across cultivated fields. Solar-powered irrigation systems help overcome the challenge of operating in a remote area with limited access to electricity. Diesel generators provide additional power when needed, ensuring an uninterrupted water supply for crop production throughout the year.
Irrigation is the backbone of every farming project. It's the key points when it comes to farming. For us having multiple reservoirs and we have access to the irrigation water in the center pivots, it enables us to have a crop throughout the year in terms of maize, onions, as I have said.
Kimathi says integration of renewable energy and modern farming technology is helping unlock the potential of previously underutilized land while improving agricultural productivity.
Currently, we have 23 center pivots under cultivation, which is under irrigation. And we have 32 also. In total, we have 32 under pivot center pivots, 23 under cultivation. And in future, we are planning to have 78 at the end of the year, which will be under irrigation and cultivation also.
Mradi ni mzuri juu maeneo haya wametegemea mradi. Na kila mmoja amefaulu ama amefaidi juu ya mradi. Mimi ningependa mradi uongezeke zaidi.
Maize, onions, cassava, soybeans and sisal are among the crops farmed here, even as investors step up value addition efforts.
The Kenya Tea Development Agency, KTDA, is aggressively expanding its tea market strategy to cushion farmers from declining global prices. KTDA National Chairperson Enos Njero says they are pursuing new markets and strengthening value addition efforts as tea earnings come under pressure from recent price declines. Well, we do apologize for that technical hitch, but we continue with the news. The Director of Policy at the State Department for Agriculture, Kennedy Anahinga, is calling for adoption of mutual recognition agreements to eliminate duplication of testing and certification of products traded across the Horn of Africa region. Here is Jacqueline Masharia with the details.
For farmers, selling their produce across the region can be difficult due to different standards and repeated checks. Furthermore, most of them are not conversant with cross-border market information and requirements.
Whatever we do in boardrooms, in conferences, in workshops, until the farmer is at the center, then we have done nothing. But all these MRS training you're talking about, then we need to go back and do capacity building of the person who's in charge of agriculture and livestock, and that's the farmer. So from us in the country, then we'll have to see then how do we design programs to bring the farm on board.
One of the proposed solutions is the use of mutual recognition agreements that allows countries to recognize tests and certificates issued in another member state instead of requiring the same product to be retested.
We need to harmonize, we need to recognize that whatever is being produced in our countries are acceptable and safe to be used in another country.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, says the ongoing discussions are aimed at turning the proposals into practical measures that can reduce delays and the cost of moving agricultural products across the Horn of Africa region. Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
Where Cameroon are the new champions of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations after a convincing 3-0 victory over tournament debutants Malawi in Rabat, Morocco. Now, Marie Nga Manga opened the scoring in the 20th minute with a close-range header before Naomi Eto'o doubled Cameroon's advantage with a stunning volley in 10 minutes later. Eto'o then turned provider in the first half stoppage time, rounding Malawi goalkeeper Mercy Sikelo before setting up Nga Manga for her second goal of the match and 5th of the tournament. The emphatic victory secured Cameroon's first ever WAFCON title.
Top quality indeed. Picked up in their own half. They got an option here. There's Naomi Eto'o. Naomi Eto'o, the goalkeeper's coming back. She's gone past it. Eto'o trying to get the ball over. It's headed in. What a fabulous header that is. And they've scored a third goal. Sensational. That really is. You don't get better than that. Marian Garmanga scoring her second here in this final to make it 3-0 right at the end.